So today we're going to go over the TOPO Designs Global Briefcase. It's the 3-day Global Briefcase. There's also a smaller Global Briefcase and then just a briefcase model, which is even smaller. We'll go through some of the differences on some of those. Mainly in this, I just want to show the full tour of the bag. I have a few things that we're going to throw in and see if they fit. When I was looking at the bag, my main worry was if things would fit, and mostly things about like whether it was very modular. So like there's a few tabs here and there. Would I be able to use these for anything? And we'll get into a little bit more of what I was hoping to get latched on the backpack, but let's go ahead and start with the front compartment. So again, TOPO Designs has a lot of different colors. I got the navy blue. I think this looks super sharp. You're gonna have this white TOPO design on probably, I think it's every single one except I think it's the black one, doesn't have the white. So starting with the front, you have YKK zips. TOPO Design makes really nice zippers, or uses very nice zippers, really beefy. So I will point out one thing though with these zippers is that you have to remember, if you are, it's somewhat petty, but if you are carrying this in somewhat of a briefcase mode, the zippers do stay up top, so there aren't two zippers, so you can't keep it closed when it's down. So there is an opening right here. It doesn't fully close. There isn't really a garage door or anything that keeps it closed. So it's light, but there could be some rain that would get in there. There is a little safety little measure here. You can put your zippers in if you were going to the airport. It's pretty difficult to actually get them in there, but that's probably good if you're at the airport and somebody's trying to get it out of there. So that's a good thing. The pockets are basically the exact same on the insides. You'll see it's a L shape here. So all you have is, first off, you have a really nice TOPO lining. It's really easy to see everything, but the insides of these are exactly the same. The only difference is that you have this little sort of plastic key fob if you needed, or key ring. And then you have some mesh netting here. This is normally probably good for a book. I had a Kindle in here, an iPad. So you can get this to fit in. I had a camera in the other one prior to this, and it fit really well. It was my Fuji that I had on there, and it fit pretty well. So if you have somewhat of a point and shoot or a small Fuji camera, I think I have a 18mm lens, and it was able to fit on here, keeping it on the outside. So you do have these little compression straps. So when I was looking at this, I wasn't really worried about compression necessarily, because for myself, if it's just on the bottom, I just don't really see much of a need for compression, especially with a bag this size. I think it makes a little more sense on the smaller briefcase, maybe not so much on this one. But it does act as a really good tripod case. So I don't have a tripod on me. I'm actually using it, but it does fit really well in here. You could actually fit the entire tripod on here, or you could sort of cleverly put it in with one leg in, or two legs in and one leg out. That way, if it were to come loose, it's still gonna be secured by at least somewhat of a rope. Now, one of the things I did want to mod this with was I wanted to be able to put a penny board on through these. I thought I might be able to get a long board through it. They just looked bigger when I was on the website. They will not fit a penny board, and we can check. So Now, if you are traveling and you're trying to just transport your penny board from point A to point B, you could possibly, I think you actually could, if you took your trucks off, you could probably fit your penny through these loops just fine. The problem though is these wheels with the trucks will not allow you to get that through there, and these, unless you're gonna work to get this out of there and then redo that every single time, it's just not gonna work. So if, for the few of you that were actually thinking about putting a skateboard on there, it will not fit unless you were just wanting to mod it for something like traveling and then reassembling your board once you get there. And if you're trying to actually put a traditional or original deck on there, this is about 8 inches, you're not really in luck. You're either gonna rip your straps or it's just not gonna go on. So that's a no-go. Now, I will say, again, for those wanting to do something like that, wanting to mod it in some way with a board or any other sort of device other than a tripod, there are these hooks that honestly I have no idea what they're to, but it does give you a little bit of room to put a strap through, and there's one on each side, and you also have those safety straps as well, so you probably could mod something to go around this side if you needed to, because you do have these 2 loops here. So that's for you if you wanted it. It's not necessary, but if you needed to use that, you may have access to it. Going to the back, you do have the ability to take off these straps and tuck them away inside of here. So that's pretty handy. You also have a pass-through for if you're taking luggage. You can put this on your luggage compartment. And one clever design is that this pass-through for the luggage is separate from this pass-through for your straps. And back to the skateboards. If you were to want to travel and you were just in dire need of needing to use a board, you could potentially use, you're not gonna get this on as a carry-on like this probably, but you could use this through here and wear the bag like that. So again, that is one of the things you could do. You could also try to put it on through here. The only problem is the straps kind of block you, so it doesn't really work as much that way. Again, this is just simple modifications you could make, ways that you could get around. Again, think even of using this for anything else as well if you're not a skateboarder. So moving on to the inside of the compartment, you have the first pocket, which is mainly just to deal with luggage. So there is a difference between this and the global briefcase. This is actually where most of the difference is. And then this is where all your packing would take place under this layer here. Now, one thing to say is that if you are debating between the global briefcase and the 3-day global briefcase, is that I'm almost positive that the global briefcase does not have this netting. It also does not have this top layer to your luggage compartment. It's just sort of an empty dump. Now, I think that might be okay, and actually, in some ways, that could be better, and let me explain. So if you were to have a camera cube, you could use this compartment as a modified camera case. So you would basically just take some sort of camera case that you have, you could close this up, and then again, and this is why I think the global briefcase would probably work better for this, but you're then left with a case that you can walk around with that does have a compartment that acts as a camera case. And the reason why I say it might work better as the global briefcase is because one, it's a little smaller, so you're not gonna have that wiggle room. Also, you just kind of have this flopping around. So I think that's one area where the global briefcase might come out on top. And so yeah, so that's one of the main things. Again, this is really nice because I think you could use this as sort of a clean and dirty laundry area. So you have your clean clothes in here, and then you use this for your socks, your underwear. You could also just use this as if you kept this for luggage, which if you want to see here, this is also from TOPO Design. So this is one of their packing cubes, which this I would highly recommend. I think this is a really good packing device. I was able to fit maybe 7 shirts and probably 3 or 4 pairs of pants and still have plenty of room. And then you have room up here for underwear and socks. But if you were to take this, this fits almost exactly. You are left with a little bit of room, just slightly, just a little bit up top. So it doesn't pack in exactly up to size. It has a little bit extra room, and that may be, honestly, I'm not very certain whether the global briefcase would be able to fit that or not. But you would be able to use this little compartment right here if you were traveling and you wanted to be able to have the middle compartment to still be able to use for some sort of access. You could keep your zippers just dialed in here, walk around and use those mesh pockets that we talked about earlier. Little netting here. You can put your snacks in here, any random doodads you had, and then you could just keep your luggage tucked aside and then use those for that. So I think it does have a lot of use that you could find within the bag. So that's a good thing. Now we're gonna go on to the one part of the bag that I have the biggest gripe with. And I think for some of you, this might be completely fine. For others, I think this might be a problem like it is for me. And that is going to be the more of the tech department, or tech compartments here. And let me just show you what it looks like. So, sort of just an empty void with a little bit of organization. And normally that would be completely fine, and it may be completely fine. It's just that when you get into this organization, it's just a little like dangly. It's very floppy. It doesn't have a lot of structure, and that may be fine if you were just trying to drop things in and you didn't worry about it. I don't know if this material would stretch out or not, but that could cause some of you to not want this bag. It doesn't feel very structured. Even the back does not have a lot of structure to it whatsoever. The main problem I have is mainly depending on your laptop size though. So I have a 13-inch MacBook, and I feel like this bag is designed for a 17-inch MacBook. So when I put my laptop in here, you can see if I don't have this tucked in here, it would just fall out. Obviously you would fasten it down, but you can see the extra space that you have with this, and it's quite a bit. I don't even know if it's all the way down there. But the problem is with this is that if you're actually using this on your bag or on your back and you're using it in briefcase mode or whatever style, whenever you move from one style to the other, you can feel the laptop moving. You can hear the laptop moving. So, and even with it cinched down, you can still have that. And I think this could be fixed with just probably actually a simple modification, or just a sort of redesign, is just this this Velcro strap right here. You can see that the Velcro, I don't know if you can see it or not, the Velcro ends here, which makes, it just needs a little more room to be able to stretch that Velcro, to be able to cinch your laptop in just a little better. And yeah, so if you could mod it that way, again, obviously you could use a laptop sleeve, but then you're just adding extra space that didn't need to be there in the first place. So I don't know how minimal that is if that's what you're going for. So again, it's a great bag for some people, and I think it just depends on what you're willing to be okay with, or if you even find any of those things a problem. I love TOPO. I love the style of this bag. I love the look of the bag. I love the zips. You could zip these things for days. Yeah, I like the ease of it. I like the, it's not very heavy. And if I did keep the bag, I probably would have, I probably wouldn't keep this bag. I'd probably get the global briefcase, which also doesn't have a little bit of that organization in the laptop compartment. But for me, I think that'd be okay. Yeah, I think it's a well-built bag. It's a cool bag. It's a nice bag. It just has some things for me where I'm trying to find my perfect bag. It just falls a little short on a few of those areas. Some of these problems may not be problems for you. If you guys like these reviews, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna be trying to do these. Like I said, I'm looking for my perfect bag. So I'm gonna be testing out quite a bit. So if you guys have any in mind that you're wanting to get tried out, shoot me a comment and I will see what I can do. Yeah, give me any tips. Tell me what you think we could have gone over, and we can follow the conversation on in the comments. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.